Mormons, America's wealthiest religion. Welcome to the inside story of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, from humble beginnings to a global financial powerhouse. Join us as we uncover the secrets behind their rise, their investments, and the incredible journey that turned faith into fortune. Stay tuned. This is a story you don't want to miss. The origins, sacrifice, and foundation. The Mormon story begins in 1823 with a young man named Joseph Smith, who claimed to have received a divine revelation about golden plates buried in a hillside in upstate New York. These plates, according to Smith, contained the sacred texts later compiled as the Book of Mormon. This spiritual awakening sparked a movement that would grow exponentially over the coming decades. However, faith alone wasn't enough to establish this new religious movement. To print the scriptures and spread their message, Smith needed capital. Enter Martin Harris, a local farmer and devoted believer, who believed so fervently in Smith's visions that he mortgaged 240 acres of his land to raise $3,000, an astronomical sum at the time. Harris's sacrifice was a turning point. It enabled the early printing of the Book of Mormon and laid the financial groundwork for the church's future. Despite losing his land and enduring hardship, Harris's faith and sacrifice helped cement the foundation of a movement that would eventually command millions of followers worldwide. The early Mormon community prioritized spiritual salvation, but also recognized the importance of economic stability and growth, principles that would define its future. Building an economic empire, from small beginnings to industrial might. From its inception, Mormon leaders understood that spiritual success needed to be complemented by financial strength. Joseph Smith was a pioneer not only in religion, but also in economic organization. He established ventures like the United Firm, a church-controlled conglomerate that managed a variety of enterprises, including a storehouse, tannery, land speculation, and a printing press. These early business endeavors demonstrated the church's understanding that control over resources was crucial to its growth. In 1841, Smith took a groundbreaking step by appointing himself trustee in trust, consolidating all church property under a single legal entity. This move was revolutionary. It signaled the church's intent to manage its assets with corporate rigor, paving the way for future investments and expansion. Smith's political ambitions and leadership in Nauvoo, Illinois, showcased a desire for influence beyond spiritual matters. His leadership was marked by efforts to build a socio-political structure that could sustain and protect the church's interests, an ambition that ultimately led to his tragic assassination in 1844. The Mormon Exodus and the Utah Dream. Following Smith's death, Brigham Young emerged as the church's leader. Born into poverty in Vermont, Young was a self-made man who converted to Mormonism in 1832. His leadership was pivotal in ensuring the survival and expansion of the church, especially during its arduous migration westward. In 1847, Young led thousands of Mormon pioneers across treacherous plains and mountains to settle in the Salt Lake Valley. This migration was driven by a desire for religious freedom and a need to establish a self-sufficient society free from external interference. Utah soon became a blank slate, an uncharted territory where the Mormons could build their community from scratch. To fund this ambitious project, Young capitalized on the California gold rush, dispatching Mormon miners into the mountains to extract wealth. The gold and silver mine fueled the development of infrastructure, agriculture, and industry in the region. Under Young's leadership, Utah transformed from a barren desert into a thriving economic hub rooted in land cultivation, cattle ranching, salt production, and real estate. The church's leadership understood that economic independence was vital to its survival and growth. With land as a resource and industry as a means, the Mormon community laid a sturdy foundation for future prosperity, challenges, controversies, and resilience. The journey wasn't without peril. The federal government viewed Mormon practices, particularly polygamy and political independence, with suspicion. The Utah War of 1857 and the Mountain Meadows Massacre cast dark shadows over the church's history, revealing the darker aspects of its early pursuits of sovereignty and influence. Yet, despite these setbacks, the church persisted. Brigham Young launched initiatives like Zion's Cooperative Mercantile Institution, ZCMI, which became the nation's first department store, and the United Order, a radical communal system aimed at eliminating poverty through collective ownership. Tithing, 10% of members' income, became a cornerstone of church financing, fueling expansion and infrastructure projects. Over time, the church's focus shifted from survival to prosperity, with a strategic eye on diversification and investment. The modern financial powerhouse. Entering the 20th century, the Mormon Church had evolved into a sophisticated financial entity. It diversified its assets, investing in railroads, real estate, cattle, and mining, becoming a major economic player across the United States and beyond. Under the leadership of figures like Nathan Eldon Tanner, the church adopted corporate management practices, running its operations like a Fortune 500 company. Its investments grew increasingly complex, spanning stocks, bonds, and industrial holdings worldwide. The 2002 Salt Lake Winter Olympics marked a pinnacle of the church's global reach. Thousands of volunteers and church officials worked tirelessly behind the scenes to produce a successful event, elevating its international profile and showcasing its organizational capacity. Secrets, whistleblowers, and the wealth revelation. For decades, the church maintained strict financial secrecy. It refused to release detailed earnings reports or audits, leading to speculation about the true extent of its wealth. This secrecy was challenged in 2019 when whistleblower David Nielsen, a former senior manager at Ensign Peak Advisors, the church's investment arm, exposed staggering figures. Nielsen revealed that the church managed over $100 billion in assets, more than Harvard's endowment and surpassing the GDP of some nations. The church's investments included major tech giants like Apple, Google, and Amazon, as well as ExxonMobil. These funds were alleged to be largely held in reserves, not directly used for charitable purposes, sparking criticism and calls for transparency. In 2023, the church settled with regulators, paying a $5 million fine, but the revelations intensified debates about the use and oversight of its immense wealth. Despite ongoing scrutiny, church membership continued to grow, reaching approximately 17.5 million members worldwide. The wealth beyond belief. Today, estimates place the church's total assets at over $265 billion, making it one of the wealthiest religious organizations in history. Its assets support an extensive network of temples, missionary programs, charitable initiatives, and real estate holdings, including luxurious properties and commercial ventures across the globe. Members contribute through automatic tithing, trusting that their donations support both spiritual endeavors and the church's economic stability. This culture of giving has been instrumental in fueling the church's expansion and wealth accumulation. Reflection. Faith, fortune, and future. The story of the Mormon Church's rise from humble beginnings to a mighty financial empire is a testament to strategic vision, faith, and resilience. While its spiritual mission remains central, its financial influence now permeates global markets and industries. Yet, questions about transparency, the ethical use of wealth, and the role of faith in financial pursuits continue to surface. Critics argue that the church's immense reserves should be more openly managed and directed toward humanitarian causes. Nevertheless, one thing remains clear. The Mormon Church's unique blend of faith and enterprise has cemented its position as a powerful force in American history and beyond. Its journey exemplifies how religious conviction, combined with strategic business practices, can transform humble origins into a global economic powerhouse. In conclusion, the Mormon Church's extraordinary journey from humble beginnings to a staggering financial empire is a testament to the power of faith, vision, and strategic enterprise. What started as a small community driven by divine inspiration has grown into a global powerhouse that shapes economies, influences cultures, and commands billions in assets, all while maintaining a deep spiritual mission. But this story is more than just history. It's a mirror reflecting the profound ways faith and finance can intertwine to create lasting impact. As the church continues to grow and its wealth becomes even more intertwined with its spiritual and social influence, questions of transparency and responsibility become more urgent than ever. Now, more than ever, it's essential to stay informed and critically evaluate the sources of power and wealth in our society. Whether you are a believer, a skeptic, or simply a curious observer, understanding the dynamics behind institutions like the Mormon Church empowers you to make informed decisions and engage meaningfully in discussions about faith, wealth, and ethical stewardship.